Hi friends, I welcome you all at Crack Grade B in the video lecture series of Economic and Social Issues for RBI Grade B exam. Today we are going to cover human development, and in this video we will discuss some issues, definitions, human development index in the question and answer types of format. And this video is especially designed for covering your descriptive types of questions. So our first question for today: what do you understand by human development? And discuss the 4 pillars of human development. So while writing these types of questions, first you will define what is human development, and then one by one give what are the 4 pillars for the human development. So, what is the definition of the human development? Human development is a process of enlarging the range of people's choice, increasing their opportunities for education, healthcare, income and empowerment, and covering the full range of human choice from a sound physical environment to economic, social and political freedom. So, what is the word enlarging the range of people's choice is the most significant aspect of human development. Why? Because the people's choice may involve a host of other issues. But living a long and healthy life, to be educated and to access to the resource needed for a decent standard of living including political freedom, guaranteed human rights and personal self-respect. So this is the word which he has used, people's choice. So while defining a human development, people's choice is most important part. Why? Human development is not the development of economic and social and political freedom. It includes the political freedom, guaranteed human rights and personal self-respect. That's why he has used a name people's choice. Now we comes to the part, the pillar. Just as any building supported by pillars, the idea of human development is supported by the concept of equity, sustainability, productivity and empowerment. So we can say that these 4 are the pillars for the human development. Now first we will define what is equity. Go by the words equal access to the opportunity available to the everybody. In this context, the equity is defined as the opportunities available to people must be equal irrespective of their gender, their race and their income. And in terms of India, we can say in terms of caste. So it is the major problem in India, and it is also the reason behind that we are lagging behind in Human Development Index, which was launched by the United Nations Development Program. So equity is the main reason behind the ranking which we have acquired in Human Development Index. For example, if any country, it is interesting to see which group the most of the school dropouts belong to. This should then lead to understanding of the reason of such behavior. In India, a large number of women and persons belonging to socially and economically backward groups drop out of their school. This shows how the choice of these groups get limited by not having access to the knowledge. In a nutshell, we can say that the people belong to SC, SC category and OBC category, especially these ST peoples are far lagging behind in access to the education. If we talk about the primary education, most of the dropouts we will see in school will belong to this category, SC, ST and OBC. And in terms of gender, the women are also contributing towards the school dropout, and we can say that if the school dropout is more for these communities, for these sections of our society, then we are not treating them equally. Now we come to the part sustainable. Sustainability means continuity in the availability of the opportunities. To have sustainable human development, each generation must have the same opportunities. I will explain you here. For example, we are using oil, coal and other resources very aggressively. According to a survey, the coal at the rate which we are using today, it will finish after 30 years. Then what will we do? So we have to use this coal sustainably by thinking that we are going to use this coal in future also. So go by the definition, each generation must have the same opportunities. Now in terms of sustainability can be acquired in environmental, financial and human resource. In terms of environment, I have taken the example of coal, which I have told you earlier. But in financial term and in human resource term, I will give you the example. But we can say that the sustainability means to use the resources by keeping in mind our future requirement. So misuse of any of these resources will lead to fewer opportunities for future generation, for our sons, for our future generation. It is going to be very difficult for them if we are using most of the resources today. A good example of that, in terms of environmental, I have told you earlier. Now it is an example related to the human resource. For example, we are not learning or teaching a girl at primary level. And what we are doing? We are playing with their future. So, if a community does not stress the importance of sending its girl children to school, many opportunities will be lost to these young women when they grow up. Yes, of course. Why? Because the government, a particular community, if he is not sending their girl to the school, definitely they are playing with their future. If a girl will not get the basic education, then definitely it will reduce the GDP of our country. Health parameter, health condition will also goes down, and other factors will also go down by not giving the opportunity of study to the girl children. So it is a part of sustainability. Now the productivity. Productivity, go by the words, here means human labor productivity or productivity in terms of human work. Such productivity must be constantly enriched by building capabilities. As we all know that India is passing through a demographic dividend. If we will not generate skilled manpower, then we are losing this opportunity. So, productivity means it is people who are the real wealth of the nation. Therefore, efforts to increase their knowledge or provide better health facility ultimately leads to better work efficiency. So what we have to give? We have to give better education for greater productivity. We have to take care of their health conditions. We have to make them skills. Now, innovation and R&D is also more important to increase the productivity of India. The last pillar is empowerment. Empowerment means to have the power to make choice. Such power comes from increasing freedom and capability. Good governance and people-oriented policies are required to empower people. The empowerment of socially and economically disadvantaged group is especially important. For example, in terms of good governance, we can take example of 33% reservation in panchayat election. This 33% of reservation is for women. So by giving this 33% reservation to the women, we are empowering the women. So these all are the 4 pillars of human development in India. Now, the second question is, how we measure Human Development Index in ranking the country comments. The Human Development Index ranks the countries based on their performance in the key areas of health, education, and access to resources. So these rankings are based on score between 0 to 1 on a scale. This is 0. 0 to 1. The countries will be here. So accordingly, the country get the score on these parameters, health, education, and access to the resources. They decide their ranking. Now, we will talk about the indicators in detail. The first is health. The indicator chosen to assess health is the life expectancy at birth. So it is a sub-indicator in terms of health. Then how will you define the health of a person? Then first is life expectancy at the birth. A higher life expectancy means that people have greater chance of living longer and healthier lives. So it is a one parameter. The second is access to knowledge. The adult literacy rate and the gross enrollment ratio represent the access to knowledge. For example, if a certain school in a district, in a state, if we talk about in a district, for example, a district in Orissa, the gross enrollment ratio is 50. Then by taking this figure 50, we can say that how much people are going to school, and in terms of human development, we can say that there are 50 people which have access to the knowledge. In terms of adult literacy, how much college are there in Orissa and how much of the persons are studying in Orissa. So these numbers will define the access to the knowledge. And it is one of the indicator of Human Development Index. Now, the third point is access to resources. In previous line, I have talked about knowledge, and in resource, it is measured in terms of purchasing power in US dollar. Purchasing power means if a person is getting 350 rupees to 500 rupees per day, then how much of a material he is able to purchase by this much of amount define the purchasing power of that person. And at a global level, it is defined in US dollars. So whatever dimensions I have defined, whatever indicators I have taken health, access to knowledge, and access to resources. These are the 3 indicators, and there are various sub-indicators for these 3 indicators. which define the human development. Now, each of these dimensions is given a weightage of 1 by 3, 33% each. The Human Development Index is sum total of the weights assigned to all these dimensions. The closer a score is to 1, the greater is the level human development. Some of the countries are acquiring 0.8, 0.9 of score. So it is equal to 1. So they are called more developed and their human development is much better than the other countries. So a score of 0.93, which I have told you, would be considered very high, while 0.268 would mean a very low level of human development. India comes between middle of this score, of this scale. I will tell you about the Human Development Index rank and score of the India, and this Human Development Index is given by United Nations Development Program. So we have defined how we measure the Human Development Index and how we rank the country. Now the third and last question for today: what is the progress of India in Human Development Reports 2019? And what is the reason behind underperformance of India? This HDI was done by United Nations Development Program. Okay. Reason for India's underperformance on HDI we will take, but what is the rank of India in 2019 HDI? India rank was 131 and it's go down as compared to the rank of 2018. I mean to say here is that India has scored a rank of 130 in 2018 and now India has scored 131. And what is the per capita income? It is annual basis. $6681 annually a person is coming in India. What is the reason? We will define the reason one by one. First, the malefic effect of a deep-rooted societal and economical disadvantage account for a low rank of economy that is in global top 6 by the size. What this line indicates, what this line explains, India is a vast country. India's GDP is in top 6 of the world. Growth rate in top 3 in the world. It is going to be top 3 country in terms of growth. But why we are lagging behind this Human Development Index? The reasons are deep-rooted societal and economic disadvantage. I have given some factors, like following factors can be dubbed as a reason for India's dismal performance in HDI. First one is increasing in income inequalities. Huge difference. 97 to 98% have amount and we can say that wealth, and 3% of the person have more wealth than this 97 to 98%. For example, if we consider that there is 20 lakh crore of wealth in India, for example, then this 98% of this will be, what is the 98% of this amount? It will be approximately 18 lakhs crore. So this amount 80 lakh crore is retained by the 3 to 2% of the people in India, and this 2 lakh crore is retained by the 97 to 98% of the people in India. So this is the income inequalities in India. So income inequalities amplify falling under the HDI indices of human development. It is a sub part. Intergenerational income mobility is lower in countries with high income inequality. It manifests at birth and determines access to quality healthcare, education and opportunities. Further, there is increasing trend income inequality. In India, the income growth of the bottom 14% between 2000 and 2018 is 58%, was significantly below the average income growth for the entire population. So what is the meaning of this? Income growth for 14% is much lower than the 60% person left behind. 60% person's income growth is 122%, but the bottom 14% income growth is only 58%. So it is also creating income inequalities. Now we come to the part gender inequality. What do you mean by gender inequality? The gender gap, the gap between a woman and a man in terms of education, health and source of income and the payment. So what this Human Development Index said about the gender inequality, the number shows female per capita income in India was only 21.8% of that males. If a male person is getting 100 rupees, then their counterpart women are getting 21 rupees only. While it was more than double at 49% in other developing countries. We are far behind the other countries which are paying equal remuneration to the women as compared to the men. So the meager per capita incomes of female in India is mainly because of their exclusion from the labor force. Why? Most of the women in India are works at home without payment, without paying any cost. We can say that only 20.5% of the women in the working age group, that is 15 to 59, were in the labor force, pointing to its dismissal female labor force participation rate. Now, what is the cumulative effect of this Human Development Index? The cumulative impact of these factors spill over across the generation. It is the integrational cycle which denies opportunities to those who are at bottom of the pyramid. Let me explain this part. This is the pyramid. Here we can say 3% of the population. Here we can say let us consider 47% or 57% we can take. This is a 40%. So this is at the bottom of the, what is this percentage? This is the percentage of the total population in India. What does it mean? It means that 3% who have secured more benefit in terms of health, education, per capita income. But this factor is much less for this bottommost population. And who comes under this bottommost population? Workers, laborers, underprivileged people, underprivileged persons, SC, ST, and the women, children. These comes under this 40%. So as per this index, these bottommost 40% persons are denying their opportunities for their development, for their incremental growth. So this was the factors which are contributing for the underperformance of the India in Human Development Index. So this was all from my side today. I will come up with more videos, and my videos will be based upon the social issues, and it is going to help you for covering your descriptive part. So till then, thank you and happy learning.